Hi folks, welcome back. I've got another battle report. It's a bit of a stand-in one. We'll just go through the different lists at the moment just to see how everything does at 4 points. And my opponent wanted to use some last Romans, so I let him have my Rohan, and we worked out a list for him. So let's have a quick look through the list. So for the last Romans, we have 4 mounted Hearthguard with the composite bow, 8 warriors with bow, and another 8 warriors with bow. And then my Welsh have 3 lots of 8 warriors with javelins and 12 levy with bow. And this is the startup, and we're just doing Clash of Warlords. This will be most of the scenarios that we'll be playing for this mini tournament we got up on the 27th of May, I believe it is. So for the Rohan slash last Romans, as you can see on the top side there, he's got his 8 warriors with bow, another lot with 8 warriors with bow. 8 basic warriors down at the bottom. He's got his 4 Hearthguard together, and the Warlord is the one with the sword up in the air. Again, apologise for stand-ins, but we're just trying to get different lists played at the moment, just to make sure it is pretty balanced at 4 points. On my far left, I've got 8 warriors. I think I positioned these guys just a bit too far out, but I had, if I remember correctly, I think this was like an early drop anyway. And on my right, middle to right, anyway, I've got my 12 levy with bows and my 2 8-man warrior units and my warlord in the background. So I start off and I get my 3 dice and I just put down some reactive abilities and then basically just move most of my guys up to within 12, well, a 12 away. So I got my free move in, and then I think that's all I went for because I don't want to get any fatigue early on. And my opponent, even though he's got his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice, he decides to do a similar thing. Just manoeuvres, gets everyone into cover, his bowmen into cover, his warriors up front, and just moves his cavalry out to go on a flank. I see a great moment here to take out his cavalry, but I do it in completely the wrong way. And so into my second round of movement, I moved up and shot with my levy. That's why they've now got fatigue on them. Unfortunately, I did no damage to anything. The rest of my guys just moved up through the woods and moved up on the top there as well. And this is when I make a really bad idea. I think at the moment I'm in that mood where I want to play my abilities, and I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. For some reason, I moved these guys up within 12 and thought it'd be fantastic to taunt them in. I rolled a 6 on my first dice, first 3 dice, and I thought, put that on taunt, catch these guys. It's not really going to work out as I had planned, because I'm a javelin armed troop, which means my bonuses apply when I charge, so I want to be charging. And his 8 attacked cavalry is just as likely to wipe me out as I'm wiping him out. So yeah, it was not really well thought out plan, but it's a good way of taking out his cavalry, I suppose. Yeah, as I started rolling dice, I realised this was a crap idea. So yeah, I wipe out his 4 cavalry and lost, and I was lucky. I only lost 6 of my own warriors in return. As I say, I'm down to armour 3 against him. And he was armour 4, so it wasn't really a good idea. What I should have done is waited back and been able to move up using my Saga abilities to get some shots at him. Shooting's more effective against cavalry anyway. I know I would have had less attacks, but there was no chance of him damaging me. So I lose the Saga dice and my opponent loses the Saga dice. The last Romans are obviously better archers than I am and managed to take out 2 of my levy. And in my turn, I do favours back and manage to take out 1 of his. I think I was actually shooting at his warriors, but he did that ability. He's got an ability where basically he gets to pick the target of the shooting, which allows him to spread it away from what I want to shoot at to what he wants me to shoot at, which is a really nice ability, by the way. So I move up here and take some javelin throws at the again, the chaps in front. By the way, his ability to allow me to move the shots has to be another viable target. So at least with my javelins, I'm relatively close range anyway, so we won't be able to push my shots off elsewhere with those. But as you see, I did no damage. And things are looking like as you see there. Yeah, as you see, at the top, man, that was just a waste. Never mind. Hopefully by the time I get to the tournament, I won't be at the point where I want to use my abilities. I have noticed in this game and my previous games, I'm really stacking on the abilities and not so much on my movement. And what it's doing, as you can see down the bottom here, I'm now hitting it piecemeal. I mean, these guys should be up there. Give them a fatigue, then I'd have had my 16 against his 8 warriors, and I could really push him. Instead, I went for the abilities, and yeah, that meant I didn't have so much manoeuvring, which was a shame. And the Romans again show me how the shooting is done and make 3 kills off 3 of my warriors. This is actually done by the unit in behind the other unit. I think they've got something. Oh, I was going to say volley fire, but I think that's the Norman one, or massed fire, or something like that. Anyway, basically they can shoot whatever's in range, so they can shoot over objects, which is great. I love the idea of that. And then the other unit also joins in and kills another 3. So that unit is no longer generating Saga dice. And he also puts 3 wounds onto my levy with shooting. So yeah, I've noticed shooting in these small points is highly effective. Definitely want a cavalry unit to chase down these buggers, because I don't know what the best way of doing it otherwise. But yeah, we'll see. So thanks to some reaction abilities, I managed to move my guys up a bit further. So now at least I'm in range of doing some damage, hopefully to my opponent. So I move up here and throw some javelins, but do no damage. And then charge in. I thought I had a pretty good chance here to take out his warlord with an 8-man unit. But another thing I've now noticed is in these smaller games with the smaller units, yeah, a warlord with 8 attacks is pretty beefy. Even though I should have got some decent attacks in there, unfortunately I did not. So my warlord starts pegging it up here and throws a couple of javelins, managed to kill one off, showing up pretty much the rest of my infantry. And then really showing off the rest of my infantry, he then moves up to here and lings his javelin and takes down the horseman, which is fantastic, because he's now lost his warlord, because I lost a Saga dice when I attacked him. Now he's lost his Saga dice because he's lost his warlord. The only downside now, I have my warlord standing in the middle of everything he's got, and he has to defend himself. Yep, so as I can imagine, he then charged in. Strange enough, his archers, maybe it was because it was a full 8-man unit, but the fact he had 1 less armour meant I could do more damage to him, so I wasn't too bothered. So showing off, he managed to slay 2 with no loss in return. He then followed that up by his warriors, which again I beat off, but now unfortunately my warlord is completely exhausted, which means I won't be saving any more wounds. And we're looking something like this. And with both of us only generating a couple of Saga dice, there's not a lot we did, and in the final turn, my own warlord was plucked off with his shooting. Yeah, he doesn't charge anything off, so yeah, I lost my exhausted warlord. So the results were, the losses, for the Welsh guys, he lost 17 warriors, 5 every a warlord, for the total of 15 points. And the last Romans lost 7 warriors, 4 Hearthguard and a warlord, plus 1 complete unit, because I wiped out his Hearthguard, for a total of 13. That means it's a difference of 2 points, and it resulted in a draw, but I'm pretty sure my opponent pretty much had me throughout that. As I say, the silly thing with the Hearthguard unit, and me just wanting to use Taunt for the sake of it, thinking, oh no, I'll take on his Bocav in combat, completely forgetting that his Bocav is still a Hearthguard unit, and proceeded to wipe out one of my Saga dice, even though I did destroy them. Also, if my opponent had understood that wiping out a unit would also give him a bonus point, he probably would have shot and finished off my small 2-man units that I had wailing around there. But I really like that with the new rules. I'm glad wiping out units gives you an extra bonus as well. It does give you some incentive to knock out those little pain-in-the-arse units that are running around at the back of the field. As for the last Romans, I like their battle board. I think it's good fun to play, and I really like the Grip and Beats plastics as well. So I think that might be an investment for the future. Sell a few more miniatures off and see what I can buy. In the meantime, my Welsh, I'm really hoping by the time this tournament comes around, I stop wanting to use the battle board. I mean, seriously, I'm pretty much putting everything on my battle board, and you know, my abilities, and absolutely bugger all on movement. And I don't know why I'm doing it. I just want to use the abilities. I think I think they're cool, and I'm glad I didn't take any cavalry in away this time, because that's another ability I'd want to use, even though I only have one. But for 4 points, I definitely think I want to put a cavalry unit to chase down anyone with these poxy shooty armies. The Normans and such can feel quite nasty shooty armies. So yeah, I would like to put a unit of cav in. Otherwise, it'll be as you see here, depending on how much I can get painted. Because I'm away for the weekend now, and it's the start of reenactment season, so I get to go and play as a Viking for a short while. Oh, actually, I'm the Welsh. So yeah, we'll see how things go. So until next time, I'll see you again. That was.